Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our in-person meeting. It's a special agenda where we watch democracy in action as we watch our town government shift leadership from an outgoing mayor to an incoming mayor quite peacefully and with great emotion. Let's hope it's peacefully, and I ask all of you to help us keep it peacefully. Before we begin, as with all of our council meetings, we will remind all of those in attendance our code of conduct, and if we could just start the video for that, please. Okay. Okay, so this was not a vision test. Normally there is volume that accompanies that. I'll summarize it since it went quite quickly. Basically, be nice, be respectful, and if we do have to ask someone if we have to repeat that, we will ask our officers to remove you, and it can be subject to Penal Code 403. So overall, again, we ask that we just stand and be kind to one another tonight. So, okay, with that, I now call tonight's meeting to order, and if we could begin with roll call, Ms. DeLong.
Councilmember Risto.
Here.
Councilmember Hudes.
Here.
Councilmember Badami.
Here.
Vice Mayor Rennie.
Here.
Mayor and Chair Sayak.
I'm here, thank you. Now, since this is a special meeting pursuant to the Brown Act, members of the public are welcome to address the council on any matter that is listed on tonight's special meeting agenda. As a reminder, this is a special meeting that's just for board, commission, and appointments, as well as the appointment of the mayor and the vice mayor. Now's the opportunity for the public to weigh in on this matter. Because this is a special meeting, we will not be doing verbal communications tonight, and we will limit your comments to those that are specific to what I've just listed. And so, would anyone like to speak before we begin with our agenda for the evening?
I have three
Okay, and so if you don't mind just calling us, what we'll do is for those, again, since we are doing a hybrid, those in the audience will go with you first. We'll have 3 minutes each. Those that may happen to be in the lobby, and then we'll go to those that are over Zoom. And so, Ms. DeLong, if you could just keep us organized and call each attendee as appropriate.
Certainly. Rob Moore?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am here tonight to express my deep gratitude and appreciation to our outgoing mayor, Mariko Sayak. For as long as I can remember, Mariko has been a force for good in Los Gatos. She has been a model of what it means to be a public servant, and she has been a personal inspiration to me. Years ago, before I'd ever set foot in this building, I reached out to Mayor Sayak on a whim and asked her to get coffee. I was looking for advice on my life path and how to most effectively serve my community. Despite hardly knowing me, Mariko sat down with me and talked with candor about her experiences and provided me advice that has stuck with me until today. Mayor Sayak believed in me like she does all of the people of Los Gatos, and I cannot give her enough thanks for that. Having served twice as mayor of Los Gatos, Mariko has provided a lifetime of service to our town. She has led our town with poise and grace through good times and bad. Mayor Sayak has guided Los Gatos through a myriad of trying issues from the North 40 to a global pandemic. And we've all seen Mayor Sayak rise above the vitriol and hate of this past year with such resolve and composure. While Mariko will no longer be serving as our mayor, she will continue to be a beloved town council member and a community member. I'm so glad Los Gatos has Mayor Mariko Sayak in our corner. The town of Los Gatos will forever be indebted to you. I'd also like to recognize our incoming mayor, Rob Rennie. The future of our town is in excellent hands, and I'm looking forward to Mayor Rennie's leadership. Thank you all for everything you do for Los Gatos.
So one of the things that we have asked in the past at meetings as well, applause is lovely, and it makes me feel good. We do ask that it may inhibit other people from speaking. So we do ask people to hold applause and or boos to themselves. So thank you.
Anne Marie DeCesar?
Hi, I'm Anne Marie DeCesar, and I just wanted to thank Mayor Sayak for all the work that you've done this year and steering the town council through a lot of chaos and coping with a lot of the, I don't know how to describe what's happening in our culture at this time, but a lot of the difficulties. And I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to Mayor Rennie coming and to thank you and everyone on the town council.
Ben Batson. Ben Batson. I'm sorry. Ben Batson.
Okay, congratulations that you are the new mayor, right? Outgoing. Well, congratulations on the good job you did. On the future job, okay, it's Merry Christmas, right? Because Christmas time, everybody. And I'm here just to say, God loves you all, but we need to love everybody, including those homeless out in the street. And it's very cold, okay? So if you're outside and it's under 45 degrees, well, okay, if it's outside and it's under 45 degrees, the state has offered Los Gatos a grant for a warming center to keep people healthy. You know, when you have a jacket on and it's not warm enough, you get hyperthermia, end up in the hospital, people start drinking, they fall on the ground. Thank God I have friends that are the police department. Bravo, because they have really helped people stay alive and end up in hospital ambulance. Many times, I know all the police officers now and the fire department, and they are actually my friends. I could do dispatch or whatever now. But I really need people to pull together at Christmas time, R knows me, for showers more than once a week, guys, because otherwise you get itchy. You get lice. You could get that bug thing, and they bite you, you know, and we really need to be clean, just like everybody else. And this lovely police officer here is a friend of mine. She's been there for me and Marcos and others. Kudos to you. Integrity. She has integrity. And she loves people. And we need to love each other like Jesus, you know. What is in the Bible? It says, love one another as yourself. If we don't do that here in Los Gatos, a small town is becoming a city, then we lose. You know, a mayor is an important position, but every single person has a right to speak because we're Americans. And if we don't bring Los Gatos back to normal, then we lose. We lose business, we lose sales, we lose our friends, and everybody starts moving out of state. And if we want this town to do good, my grandfather was mayor. I don't want to be mayor, but he's mayor of Sunnyvale. We just need to show each other. Oh, there's my friend right here. These are my good friends. These are my great friends. They have brought Marcos and me in the summertime gallons of water. Oh, I'm sorry. They have brought us water, sometimes beer. Catherine's put out food for the homeless, good friend of mine, and gave us tarps when we had to use it when it was pouring rain, okay, and flooding. I don't want to say this, but Marcos fell in the creek. Last night was horrible. But thank God my aunt from Idaho paid for a room for Marcos and me because it was so cold. But there's people in this room that I love that have helped me and Mark, and this couple here have done so much. Okay, so think of tonight. There's people outside that need immediate place to go. To your house, not a bathroom. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so please love each other and remember me, Bev. And
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you. And our next speaker, please.
Dennis Lozano.
Hello, Mayor Mariko. So I'm wearing a sweatshirt, if you all can see it. It says Pinayism.
And if I could also have you
Yes.
speak to us.
So Mayor Mariko, you are part of a long line of powerful Pinays. I'm wearing a sweatshirt that says Pinayism, which means this was actually a coined term by another powerful Pinay named Ate Alison Tintianco, which says that pain plus love equals growth. And I feel like that's the trajectory here. If there's anything that I've learned about powerful Pinays, they go through stuff, but the healing and the heart-centeredness and the growth is what is at the heart of what they do. So I just want to congratulate you and also congratulate the incoming mayor, Rob Rennie, and we support everything that you all have done to make Los Gatos a beautiful place. Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I have no other hands raised.
Okay, thank you very much. And I am going to close our public comments for the evening. Thank you all for sharing. And with that, we are going to now to our board, commission, and committee appointments. Prior to this, we began interviews to select a commissioner and appointments. Many thanks to those that applied. As always, we have more applicants than spots, but we encourage every one of you that have not been appointed to please look at other opportunities of leadership within the town. As someone said, all of us are equally important in carrying through this democracy. And so congratulations to those that have been selected, and we look forward to continuing to work with those. And Mr. Long?
Actually, Mayor, can you hear me?
Can you hear Shelley?
Shelley, if you could try again.
I can hear you, but there is an echo that I'm hearing. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but it's faint.
If you mute the KeyCat time, it will stop the mute.
Can you hear me now?
We can't, Jenna, will KCAP be able to capture this if we have her go forward, or should we have her email it to you and you can read it to us? If you could all just bear with us as we continue with this hybrid model.
And Mayor, my understanding is the issue is with Zoom. We are broadcasting across KCAT. I believe it's specific to Zoom. So we do have one conduit going out to the public, and they're still working on the volume issues with Zoom.
And so, Mr. Andrews, does it make sense to wait for that to be fixed, or can she email the results to one of you and you announce it?
I think to keep the meeting moving, I think it would be fine if Shelley passes the results to the deputy clerk, and the deputy clerk gives you the appointments.
She did go ahead and send them, so I'm going to go ahead and read those out now. All right. For the Arts and Culture Commission, there were 4 vacancies and 5.
And Ms. DeLong, unfortunately, we can't hear you. And so I don't know if your mic is tied to Zoom.
Is this any better?
Yes.
Okay, great. For the Arts and Culture Commission, there were 4 vacancies and 5 applicants. 4 appointees, Amy Fastnot, unanimously, Ann Lamborn, Caitlin Alicia Romero, and Tom Spilsbury. For the Community Health and Senior Services, Eleanor Yick, unanimously. For the Complete Streets and Transportation Commission, Sherry Finale Binkley, Ali Miano, and Jeff Thompson. For the General Plan Committee, Susan Burnett, unanimously. For the Library Board, Lydia Norcia and Letzia Ramos Medeiros. I apologize for that. For the Parks Commission, that's Jean-Marc Blanchard and Matthew Ober. For Personnel, Ed Matchtak. And for the Planning Commission, Kylie Clark and Steve Rasp.
Thank you. And again, congratulations to those who have been selected. And thank you for your commitment to the town. We plan to put you to work. Oh. And with that, we will go ahead and begin our special agenda, which is our appointment process. And so we will do some ceremonial events, which include a passing of a baton. I guess not a baton, a gavel. And at that point, I will go ahead and make the nomination for the mayor. We'll begin that process, and then afterwards, the vice mayor will be selected. We'll have the swearing in, and then we'll have an opportunity to celebrate and continue on with the town business. So with that, I turn to our assistant town manager if there's any other comments before we begin the process.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no comments at the time. We do have an introduction of a commemorative video for yourself, and then, as you mentioned, there will be a passing of a gavel, including a gift from the town to yourself. So at this point, I think we move forward with the ability to do the video. We did have some audio issues before, but it's still a nice pictorial and collage of your time in office.
we, Los Gatos, and the West Valley cities are getting close to $7 million in return from our elected officials. Today, we are standing united against hate. So let's say that one more time. We are standing united against hate. Thank you, Holly. I know Holly put that together, and I'm going to thank all of our staff that helped contribute to the video.
Mayor, as I mentioned, on behalf of Town Manager Laurel Prevetti and your entire town staff, we just wanted to thank you for leading this organization this year with compassion, commitment, and a conscience. Thank you so much. This is for you.
Yes, Vice Mayor Rennie.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to say a few words about you and your year. First, though, I'd like to confirm with our town manager for the public, if anybody wanted to watch the video with audio, will we be able to find it on the town website at some point or on YouTube? This video that we didn't hear with audio.
I'm sure we can post it on the town front page of the website. And I was remiss, I should have told the audience, for anyone who's old enough to remember, it was a great 10,000 Maniac song. So I'm sure we can get that posted.
Video's always better with audio, so I recommend everybody see it again. So I would like to thank and congratulate Mayor Sayoc for getting us through the year. I can remember back to the end of 2020 thinking what an awful year it had been for everyone getting through the pandemic. And what a challenge Mayor Jensen at the time had, having to pivot to online meetings and try to keep the business of the town going. At the time, I thought, thank goodness 2021 is here. I thought it was going to be a much better year. Well, vaccinations were almost here and we could get back to normal, right? You remember back then? Well, looking back at Mayor Sayak's year of 2021, I was wrong. It's been even harder than 2020, I think. We did not get the relief from the pandemic as fast as I had hoped. It took a half a year for vaccines to be distributed, enough people vaccinated before restrictions began to relax, and we started feeling comfortable stepping outside of our COVID bubble. Just when we were starting to relax and the COVID stress was easing, Delta hit and amped up our stress and challenges again. Just when she brought us, the mayor, brought us back in person with hybrid meetings to try to bring back some semblance of normalcy. It's hard to talk with a mask on, I think. Political disclosure in our town hit a pinnacle of its incivility, unfortunately. Again, I want to thank and congratulate Mayor Sack for leading us through this, another difficult year in which we kept the town afloat during the pandemic. We supported our invaluable small businesses and made great progress towards inclusivity and equity. It took real strength and fortitude to lead us through. For many, Mariko remained a beacon of safety, hope, and happiness. She continues to selflessly serve, even through personal attacks and an intense animosity. Mariko faced these hardships with elegance, composure, and patience. She acted as an example for all of us, teaching us how to meet hate with love. Thank you for your personal sacrifices to get us through the year.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So a couple things. I'll make this short. First of all, I just want to extend my sincerest thanks. Let's begin with our town staff. First, that video, we celebrated. It was a good reminder that we were able to celebrate moments of celebration and joy amidst a very challenging year, as our Vice Mayor had said. But none of those moments could have been possible without first acknowledgement of the work that all of our town staff do day in and day out during a COVID pandemic, without a pandemic, during social unrest. They have continued to provide service to this town with professionalism, with grace, and I owe all of you sincere gratitude, so thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure working in partnership with each and every one of you. So thank you. To my colleagues, this is our first year serving as council together, and half of it was done over a computer screen. But I think even through a computer, even through Zoom, I was able to detect, and I hope all of you were able to detect the passion and the love they have for this town. And very quickly, collectively, we were able to act so that we took care of all of our residents, our business workers, our visitors, your health, your physical health from the pandemic, ensuring that vaccinations, COVID testing, all of that in conjunction with the county happened. We took care of our fiscal stability and our economic health as we continue to look at how we use resources to inject some vitality into our business community. And we constantly looked at how do we bring community health and community vitality back so that we remember once again that we're not just people living in their individual homes, but people living within this community. And that we chose this community because we stand together. And boy, do we stand together when we need to. I mean, November 14, it will be etched in my memory, in my heart. So with that, I just say thank you. You gave, you gave this Filipino joy to be serving, and you gave hope to everyone that felt they didn't belong, and they were told they didn't belong. So thank you. So with that, I know my work does not end, and I will continue to make sure that the work that we began this year continues. And I am so indebted to my council because I know it won't end. And I know that my incoming mayor of this town will continue the work that we've all just begun. Because we remember that when we give power to ourselves, amazing things can happen. And I've had the pleasure of working with my Vice Mayor Rennie, for 7 years now. On paper, we're quite similar in many of the values we share, many of the environmental work that we've started. He has served on Silicon Valley Clean Energy. He was the very first president. And so the sustainability of our planet, the sustainability of our town, and frankly, the sustainability of what we hope and continue to cherish will continue under his leadership. And so with all of my glee, I pass the baton and I make a motion to nominate Vice Mayor Rennie as the 2022 mayor of the town of Los Gatos. And may I have a second? Councilmember Badami?
I second that.
Okay. Any comments or questions to the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question, and because it is over Zoom still, it has to be a roll call vocal vote. Councilmember Badami?
Aye.
Councilmember Risto?
Aye.
I vote aye. Councilmember Hudis?
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Rennie?
Aye.
And with that, I congratulate Mayor Rennie.
Thank you. I'd like to start off by saying it's a great honor to serve as mayor of this great town. I'd like to thank my fellow council members for their faith in me. I'm looking forward to doing the best job that I can, and there's a lot of work to do this year. I feel comfortable that we have great talent on our staff and on our commissions, and a very capable council willing to do the hard work. At this point, I just want to recognize, I know there's a lot of members of our commissions and our nonprofits in town that make the difference and really work with us at council. So I want to thank everybody that participates in helping us make this a great town and gives of your time. As part of looking forward to the coming year, I'd like to look backward on how we've done since I was mayor 4 years ago. It's going to make it a little longer. You might want to get popcorn. At the time, I had 6 areas of focus that I believe are still relevant today. The 6 areas from last time were emergency preparedness, business and community vitality, seniors and senior services, town financial stability, environmental sustainability, financial sustainability, not I think it'd be better without this mask. And traffic was the last of the focuses. For emergency preparedness, I would give us an A on the work we've done over the last 4 years. If you'll indulge me a little bit with some of the details, the police department has done a great job of supporting our CERT and ham radio programs with drills and facilitation, including lots of activation of our EOC, or Emergency Operating Area Center, and CERT field teams. We've done a number of simulated emergencies, and we've done emergency preparedness training for seniors. I think even more importantly, we've gone beyond and we formed an ad hoc wildfire team for ideas on wildfire safety and prevention. From this, we've done many drills on getting people out of the mountains on one-way roads, one-way out kind of roads. We've put $1 million into brush clearing on these egress routes to help make sure that people can get out without driving through burning infernos. And we've done several policy changes also. I'll skip some of these details. As kind of a testimony, recently I asked a county fire captain, what could I do for fire preparedness actions if I were a county supervisor, and his response was that Los Gatos has the best plan already. Just start there. And this is a testament to the good plan and the good work that we've done in Los Gatos. So I think we really have gotten an A on that. And although we're off to a great start and done a lot, there's still more to do in the coming year in implementing our plan further. In the coming year, it will continue to be important to maintain our progress on the roadside vegetation management plan. Funding was allocated in this budget year, and work will start shortly, but we need to continue funding it annually until we have all 31 miles of our WUI, the Wild Urban Land Interface, addressed. This year we'll also need some serious conversations starting on our budget for the deployment of a mass notification system. We'd like to do an audible notification system for those people that aren't getting onto the app. Of course, we promote all the apps. Continuing on, so we don't take too long here, business and community vitality. In late 2017, Los Gatos had lost its edge as the place to go and hang out, to Campbell, Willow Glen, Santana Row, other places. Our businesses were declining. It was getting harder and harder to fill empty spaces downtown. And then the pandemic hit. Many of our business owners had been opening businesses in Campbell and Willow Glen and finding them more successful than their LG business. Our business community is important to us. It's part of our town history and character from the time when we were a mill town in founded in 1887. In Los Gatos, we particularly value small businesses and their entrepreneurial spirit. Small business is what gives our historic downtown its character for a long time. And it's important to make sure it survives and thrives. Coming out of so since 2017, we've come a long way to making it easier for businesses to survive and open in Los Gatos. Even before the pandemic, the word was out that Los Gatos was open for business again. And coming out of the pandemic, we're again the envy of other cities' downtowns because we are the happening place to go. We've done many things to reduce the bureaucracy and streamline our processes, and you can find a list of those on our town website, so I won't list them all for you here so I can get through faster. And those were many things before the pandemic, and then we've done many more things when the pandemic hit to help make sure our businesses survived. As you've seen, you could see the result of temporary parklets and more dollars towards permanent parklets, financing 7 Thursday night promenades during the year, and many other things that we did. Again, I'm not going to list all the details for you. But of course, there's still more work to do, and we need to make sure that our momentum is not lost. Over the next year, staff has a lot of work getting many more semi-permanent parklets through the application and permitting process. We have had 38 applications so far, and only 3 are not continuing through the process. So this is promising for what will be coming in Los Gatos, but it's going to be a lot of work also. In addition to the private initiated parklets, we will be programming public space to improve flow along the tight sidewalks and looking at some pocket areas also, and putting in public benches and other kinds of programming. I also expect we'll finally be implementing our downtown parking plan for employees in order to open up spaces closer to businesses and for wayfinding to better direct people to parking that is available. As our downtown is becoming vibrant again from the shutdowns, parking is again becoming an important issue to address. And as we take some of it for our outdoor dining, of course, we need to help people find it's not really new parking, but find more parking, different places for parking. Seniors was another area that was a focus 6 years ago. And I felt the town really has kind of been lagging in comparison to other cities compared to what is needed. During my last year as mayor, we did some work on age-friendly goals, but we didn't do much else, in my opinion. Then the pandemic hit, and we lost all the ground that we had with seniors disengaging from in-person events and Los Gatos Rec becoming unable to support programs at the level they had been. This past year, with help from ARPA funds and our Community Health and Senior Services Commission, thank you, we've done a great deal to get a jump start on efforts to rebuild our senior programs. We've allocated $500,000 of ARPA funds to LGS Rec and KCAT for senior programs for these kind of short-term improvements. Also, for the coming year, we've started a high-profile senior committee made up of experts, commissioners, a couple council members, knowledgeable community members. Their goal is going to be to come up with a long-term strategy for what senior services the town should have. I'm also excited this year we should give occupancy permits for 49 very low-income senior units that have been in the works since last time I was mayor. This will allow seniors of much lesser means that have lived in Los Gatos for most of their lives to be able to stay in our community. I still remember vividly knocking on the door of a woman during one of my campaigns who was in tears pleading with me to get some affordable housing in Los Gatos so that she could stay in the community she'd lived in forever. Another woman from my wife's book club, also a senior, who was part of our community for a long time, volunteering at Numu, the Butter Paddle, and elsewhere, had to move to Stockton in order to be able to afford to live. Our community is losing some of its richness when people like this are forced to leave and lose their quality of life when they are forced to leave this community that they've been in for a long time. These 49 very low-cost senior units is not going to be enough affordable housing to allow us to keep the many more longtime members of our community that are being pushed out by the higher housing costs. An important part of the diversity of our community is pushing, an important part of the diversity of our community is being pushed out where only the wealthy can afford to live here. It becomes harder to find people to provide services for us if they cannot live in our community. It's becoming harder to hire teachers for our schools, staff for our restaurants or stores. An important part of our identity is our small businesses, but most do not make a lot of money. If a young entrepreneur wants to start a business, but they cannot live in our community or even live close, they will start a business elsewhere, and we'll start to lose some of our identity. This is a difficult community for kids to live in also. They are most likely moving away, waiting to inherit your house before they come back. For these reasons, one of the biggest and most important tasks for the coming year is the development of our state-required housing element. The state requires us to plan for and figure out how to make it possible for a variety of levels of affordable housing to be built in a coming 8-year cycle. This is a big challenge that we are all going to have to pitch in to figure out. This includes the Housing Element Advisory Board, the Planning Commission, the Council, and our community. One of the biggest challenges will be how to integrate this affordable housing into the character of Los Gatos while minimizing the impact on our infrastructure. But I also believe preserving the character of Los Gatos has to include finding ways to keep from losing community members that can no longer live here, like the woman that had to move to Stockton. Affordable housing is critical to preserving the diversity of our town. The housing element, moving on, the housing element is only one element of our general plan update that we will be finalizing this year. There are important updates in all of the many elements, which include mobility, social and environmental justice, sustainability, community design, etc. This is going to be a lot of work for the Planning Commission, the Council, and the community to make sure that we have the best plan for our community. I'd also like to highlight the environment and sustainability element. Reviewing and improving our sustainability plan was a focus of my last mayor year that we never did get to do anything much on. or much for the past 4 years. Each element in the general plan has many implementation plans connected to them. I'm looking forward to working on the implementation plans in the sustainability element this year. There will be a very long list of implementation plans from all of the elements, but I'd like to put a priority on sustainability since focus on it has been lacking for a while. Traffic and mobility is also an updated element in the general plan that has many implementation plans to work on. Some mobility projects to look forward to in the next year include the Shannon Road bike and ped improvements that we've been discussing, design and environmental work progressing significantly on our Highway 17 Route 9 interchange project that, thanks to success from Measure B, is getting funding. This will set us up nicely to compete for federal funds from the recently passed infrastructure legislation. This project will not only create a much safer bike and pedestrian crossing over 17 on Route 9, but also create much safer merge lanes on the highway, allowing cars to get up to speed before merging, while also helping to keep the highway from slowing during heavy merges. We will also move the design forward on the Blossom Hill Road traffic calming project in front of Blossom Hill School. We've heard from a number of neighbors about the unsafe speeds in this area. We will also be designing bike and ped improvements on Kennedy Road between Los Gatos Boulevard and Inglewood. We will begin design on the Lynn Avenue pedestrian path from Union Avenue. Also in the same area, we'll be moving forward with a Pinehurst community garden design. We will be also finishing the design on the Blossom Hill bike and ped overcrossing, setting us up for local, state, or federal funding for construction of that. Only one more page. Another item I think we should think about is a review of the Winchester improvements that just went in. Maybe it could be a 6-month review to see how we can modify the standard design to make it more of a Los Gatos look and feel. Actually, there's 2 more pages, sorry. We may want to consider toning down the bright colors and better assessing how we integrate into parking, something to think about for the next year, how we better integrate the parking into it. Most of these mobility projects are targeted at making routes to school safer for walking and biking, so less car trips are needed at school time. Beach traffic is another area we've tried many things to improve. One thing that might be making a difference is the app. The apps seem to be keeping traffic on the highway more, helping to reduce the cut-through traffic. This summer I was at an event in Almaden Valley on Saturday morning and wanted to return home about noon. I turned on Google Maps to see how to best get out of the neighborhood I was in, and it told me it was 40 minutes to get home from Almaden Valley. Of course, I said, what? Wait a minute. How can it take me 40 minutes to get home? And I said, uh-oh, beach traffic. So I looked at the route it was sending me, and of course it was sending me down Almaden Expressway to 85 and then down 17. Instead, I thought I would turn left on Blossom Hill and come across that way. Google Maps kept trying to get me to turn to go to the highway. It wanted me to turn on Camden, then on Union. Once I finally passed Union, it gave up and said, okay, you can go down Blossom Hill. And lo and behold, the time dropped by 15 minutes. So I think this is positive. And the reason I tell you this story is Director Morley spent a lot of effort trying to get the route finding apps to change their algorithms to reduce the cut-through. It looks like they may have done that to some extent. We still had beach traffic this year, but it was nowhere near as bad as in the past. So for the coming year, we'll maybe pray a little bit, but we'll also have to continue to monitor and adjust our efforts in case things get really bad again with beach traffic. Another area of improvement is at Lark and Los Gatos Boulevard. Pre-pandemic, that left turn onto Lark used to back up for many blocks in the morning when people are going to work. Now there's 3 left turn lanes and 2 right turn lanes onto the highway, so that the capacity to move traffic through there is increased by 50%. I think they're just finishing that, so we'll see this year as more and more people go back to work, hopefully that will be less of a problem intersection. Also, this coming year, we should be working on some more TDM, transit demand policies to implement that will help us limit traffic from new developments. One next area, getting closer to the end, is financial sustainability. The last area of my focus for the 4 years was this financial sustainability. We've done a lot of work in the area over the last 4 years with increasing revenue through a higher TOT tax and an 8-cent increase in sales tax, along with a lot of squeezing where we could find money for unfunded pension tranche payoffs that have lowered our year unfunded payments. We've made $10.4 million in payoffs that will save us ultimately $12.7 million in pension contributions. So we've done some good things there. These efforts have helped a lot to delay the year when our costs from our current service levels exceed our revenues. But our costs continue to increase faster than our revenues, particularly with the pickup of inflation. This year is going to be a critical year to find new or increased sources of revenue in that area. Finally on my list, this year we'll also spend a lot of effort rebuilding our staff and our leadership team. We've just started recruiting for a new town attorney, as many of you may be aware, and we're in the middle of recruiting for the new police chief and an HR director. As several of our senior staff are reaching retirement age, we may have additional recruitments to do this year. We also have some additional rebuilding to do in our police department as we train and recruit more dispatchers and recruit for retiring officers. This will also mean a lot of work in the police department developing our new young officers. So just to wrap up finally, the mayor can inspire, lead, and set the agenda, but the allocation of staff time for the coming year is based on our priority setting that will be in January. I encourage everyone to send your ideas and speak during the priority setting session to tell us where our priorities for the next year should be, particularly if you like mine. Finally, one work item that needs no prioritizing is getting our political discourse back on track to being civil. I'd like to see us get back to being able to express our thoughts and opinions by sticking to issues and away from personal attacks. I hope everyone will stay engaged and help guide the council and I through the coming year's challenges. Thank you. So I think, now I'm trying to figure out what I do next. I think I make a motion to appoint the vice mayor, and I have another speech, but this one's only a little over a page. I felt my obligation to give you lots of information. Maybe I'm a little bit of a teacher at heart. So a little bit of explanation to start. Our tradition is to let everyone have a turn, rotating through vice mayor and then mayor. The challenge this year is figuring out what the rotation should be because we have 3 new council members elected all at the same time. It's very unusual to have 3 new council members at the same time. It's also even more unusual that they were elected in 2 separate races occurring at the same time. One fair way to determine order could be who was elected first, and of those elected at the same time, who got the most votes. In our case, one of the races had 5 candidates, in which Councilmember Risto got more votes. In the other race, there was 2 candidates, in which Councilmember Badami won. With the 2 separate races with different numbers of candidates and open seats, comparison of votes does not work so well. Although thinking about most votes is a potential way to make a decision, our policies do not require us to use most votes. This leads me to think about next about how prepared or how much experience each council member has before coming to the council. Fortunately, all three of them have a lot and a variety of experience on town commissions and in the community. But unfortunately for me, it makes the decision difficult. In the end, I decided to nominate Councilmember Risto for Vice Mayor for the following reasons. I've observed, and others have told me, that she is by far the most active in the community. One person said to me, Maria is seen in just about every community meeting I attend. For example, I know she attends Democracy Tent meetings. She shows up at TWW meetings. She's very involved with the chamber. She even attends commissions or committee meetings that she's not a member of in order to learn more. Others have told me how impressed they are and how involved she is. I believe she has a good finger on the pulse of the town. Something that is important to me, number two, something that is important to me is Maria is very thoughtful. She makes an effort to engage with folks who she does not agree with, and importantly, she listens. Others have observed to me that Maria talks frequently with groups and individuals outside her bubble to really understand their perspectives. I think this sort of balanced leadership is going to be especially important in our now often divided town. I believe Maria is well aligned to support me in my role as mayor. She looks at the council not as politics, but as an opportunity to serve. She has the poise, spirit, candor, resolve, and deeply cares about the people of Los Gatos. She is the kind of person we need on the leader track. So I nominate Councilmember Risto for Vice Mayor. Would somebody like to second the motion? Councilmember Badami?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Would anybody else like to make any comments? Seeing none, I will do a roll call vote. Councilmember Badami?
Aye.
Councilmember Risto?
Aye.
Councilmember Sayak?
Aye.
I'm going to say Mayor. And Councilmember Hudis?
Aye.
Motion passes. Oh, and I thank you. I'm getting used to that. And I vote aye also, so the motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Vice Mayor Sayak. Congratulations, Vice Mayor Risto. we always start off in little errors here, huh? I guess next would be comments by the Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Rennie. I think Mayor Rennie pretty much covered what happened last year and what the challenges are we have coming forward. I just want to express my total commitment to working with our new mayor, my fellow council members, our incredible staff, and the residents and business owners in this community. We have a lot of opportunities and we have a lot of challenges coming up. And I absolutely know that working together, we're going to be able to address and come up with great solutions. And I just want to quickly give a thank you to three really special people that got me through my first year on council. The first one is our former Mayor Sayak. I've been a strong admirer of Mariko's since she was on the Planning Commission, and I actually worked on her campaign in 2014. And the thrill I felt when she was elected in 2014 has only been met by the thrill I feel being able to serve side by side with her. And so it's been quite a privilege, and to be a part of this council. Everybody's amazing, but Mariko's been my heroine. I also want to give a thanks to our town manager, who's not here this evening, but has just done an amazing job. One of her top priorities is helping people develop, and she has been such a great mentor to me, and I know to my other two fellow new council members. She's had a lot of work to do this year to assist us in coming up to speed, and I think she's done an unbelievable job, and she's just an amazing person. And then third, I really want to thank my husband, because if you know me well, you know I lean left, and my husband is very conservative. He keeps me honest. He keeps me paying attention to other perspectives, and he's also my biggest fan, and he supported me in a pursuit of running for council, even though he thought that was insane. And it's been quite a year, but it's been worth every minute of it, and I look forward to continuing to serve everybody here. Thank you.
So next, I'm going to invite Vice Mayor Risto to join me up front, and Supervisor Wasserman will administer the oath of office. And thank you, Supervisor, for coming to do this.
You didn't memorize it?
I have not memorized it. While they're looking for an oath, I want to say good evening to everyone. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you. I also want to say to Mariko, what a tremendous job you've done the last year. When Mariko spoke about the last year and all the things that were done, she never mentioned herself. She mentioned the community, she mentioned her council, she mentioned the staff, she mentioned all of that. But it's the leadership, Mariko, there, just that never run out of energy, never give up, never be negative, find a way that was so inspiring I know to me and to the people of Los Gatos. So thank you very, very much for your leadership and your energy and your passion and all that you gave that took away from your family, but all that you gave to the town of Los Gatos. Thank you very much for that. Absolutely.
A little more, please, Supervisor, just a little more.
Sure. And I have here in my pocket 26 pages that I'd like to read to you to kind of go over the abbreviated version. Super nice. I do want to say I was there when Rob and Mariko got on 7 years ago, and it was a wonderful thing. He's done a great job. I'm really excited about you being mayor again. I'm really excited about what you're going to accomplish. I like the goals that you mentioned and all the description of those goals. Yes, it was good. But I think it's going to be an exciting year. This year 2022 will be better than 2021. I guarantee you that. And Los Gatos is a fabulous town. And although the state of California population has gone up, down, the county of Santa Clara has gone up. This is the place to live. These are your leaders. You are all very, very fortunate. And as far as your new vice mayor, who was my neighbor for 30-something years, I moved off of Broadway onto Main Street, so I'm just around the corner. But we were mayors for 30-something years. You've got a phenomenal individual here that, as you all know, is super passionate. Warren, I am glad that you're here as far as balancing things out a little bit. That's good. But you guys make a great team, and I am so excited about the two of you working together with these three individuals and what you're going to accomplish. Enough stalling now. I've got the swearing-in ceremony. If you could please repeat after me, and when I say I blank, fill in your name, okay? So, I,
Maria Risto. I, Rob Rennie.
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Good. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Congratulations, Madam Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Supervisor Wasserman. It's always great to have you come back into the chambers that you were once a mayor twice, I guess, also, and to administer our oaths. Let's see. At this time, I'll see if any other council members would like to make any comments of any sort. No? Okay. That brings us to the end of our agenda. I will just say that, thank you to everybody that came. Thank you to all the Unite Against Hate. And if we also remember that it's Bring Love also. Unite Against Hate and bring love with you. So thank you to everybody for coming to say and thank our outgoing mayor for all her hard work in a very difficult year. So with that, we are adjourned.